This is a major warning from the federal government and from websites themselves like Google, YouTube, Amazon, any websites connected to their cloud services as well could be going offline. All right, that's what they are warning of right now. And they have been under some of the largest attacks ever. All right, Google and YouTube have just been under the largest attack ever, and they're saying that things could get a lot worse. Okay, we also have the federal government warning that we could see major attacks on critical infrastructure. So we need to be getting ready, and we need to be getting prepared for some kind of major event to happen in the US, because we could see sites that are critical to the backbone of the internet, like Google, Amazon, and their cloud services that provide web services to thousands of different websites. The backbone of them are Google and Amazon. They just went under the largest attack ever in history, and there was no way that this was not a state-sponsored attack. All right, the level, just the pure volume of this attack has to be state-sponsored for them to have this amount of, because they have more capacity. They're trying to outdo Google and YouTube and Amazon and Cloudflare all at the same time, and they're saying that this could potentially collapse the internet. And this is huge, especially with what's going on around the world right now. We're on the edge of a massive world war, and having this cyber threat here that could wipe out massive chunks of the economy overnight is a major threat. All right, so really quick, please hit the like button and please subscribe as well if you want to help get this video out and you want to see more videos like this, because this is critical. This entire website could go offline. YouTube itself could go offline, and they just went under their largest attack ever, and they're saying that this was a test. This was a test. This was a short duration test to see, and they are worried that they would not be able to handle a prolonged attack like this, and it could wipe out the servers for YouTube, for Google, for Amazon. All of these massive websites that are the backbone of the internet could go offline. So you need to be getting prepared for this right now. Everything is based off the internet now. There are billions of dollars in commerce that operate exclusively on the internet, and that's how we get things done. All the logistics systems for the supply chain are all run through the internet, all right, on the back end. So this is a major threat, and look at what just happened. There was a massive cyber attack on the truckers, and they are stranded right now as well. All right, I was covering that a few days ago. This stuff is all connected, and we also have the federal government issuing an emergency warning that we could see attacks on critical infrastructure like Google and YouTube, and even things like the power grid and the water grid system, and especially the power grid. So we have CISA, the Cyber Security Infrastructure, or Cyber Infrastructure Security Agency, and we have the FBI coming out and giving a emergency warning that this ransomware could take over our critical infrastructure. And it is already a 0-day ransomware that is back-ended into a lot of these softwares and programs that they use on critical infrastructure. This is happening right now, and this is on top of what we have with the largest attack ever, 398 million requests per second, which is insane. And that's why I'm saying this has to be a state-sponsored attack, and I think this was a state-sponsored test attack to see exactly what the servers could handle, okay? And one thing that people don't think about with the electricity grid is that all the electricity, the flow of it is all monitored by computers and by software, all right? That's how all of it is processed, and that's how they know how much energy they need and how much to send, so they don't overload and fry the grid or not send enough, and then we have a blackout, right? So that's all managed by computer systems and software, and that software is vulnerable, and there's a ton of backends, and that software is connected to a lot of other things as well. And the FBI and CISA are warning that things like remote software, remote control software that is used on a lot of computers in all industries, okay? They use this to have access to their computers and their network. They're saying any kind of remote access software is highly vulnerable right now. And they're saying that you need to have multi-factored authentication, and you need to update all your systems, all right? You need to update all your systems right now. And this is related to the Avos Locker ransomware that is spreading and has found 0-day backend access to a lot of these programs that are used in our critical infrastructure right now. And they're even saying that if they aren't able to, this happened a few months ago as well too, it keeps getting hit. They're trying to hit our critical infrastructure. There was a NetScaler vulnerability that is like a internal router to connect the computers for an internal system, all right, for a company, and helps control gates opening, things like that. It helps control all these different systems for critical infrastructure. That had a vulnerability as well. The Citrix NetScaler, that was just a couple months ago. All right, now there's a new one, and we could see major attacks on our critical infrastructure. These things are already in the background. All these systems, all these parts, all this software that is not built with the best interest at heart, that is like not American software from American companies, it is built with backdoors into it, all right? Even American stuff is built with backdoors into it, but it's built with backdoors into it to other countries and other governments. This is common knowledge. We know this. So you need to be getting yourself prepared and ready for potentially these critical infrastructures in your area to be hit, and potentially even things like YouTube, Google, Amazon, the backbone of the internet itself could go offline. So make sure you guys are also following me on Twitter, or X, what they're calling it now, and on my email list down below, Hum Report. You can just sign up with your email list just in case anything ever happened to me, and I could try to get in contact with you that way. But even there, Gmail is the biggest email provider on the planet, right? And their systems could be disrupted and taken offline as well, and be blocked off as well, especially if we enter a scenario where state-sponsored actors are doing this. And that's exactly what this seems like with the request rate that they are hitting. And that's the world where we are living in, where things happen quickly. It could happen overnight, where YouTube, Google, Amazon, these things could be offline overnight. And we keep seeing these major tests on their systems, and they're saying this last test, they had a major DDoS attack last year as well, and they're saying that this most recent one was 7 times as large, almost 8 times as large as the one last year. All right, the requests per minute that they were getting to disrupt their servers, all right, 7, almost 8 times as large as the one last year. These are massive attacks, and they are preparing to do something big. If they couldn't sustain a prolonged attack, YouTube, Google, Amazon, they wouldn't be able to sustain that rate for that long. And if the attackers are able to sustain it, then they are able to potentially damage their servers, take them offline, and disrupt their websites. So make sure you guys are trying to become more self-sufficient, more reliable. Start homesteading, get off the grid as much as possible, get solar, get a generator for yourself in case there's a power outage from one of these attacks. All right, you need to be as off-grid as possible. I live in my RV with my family, all right, and we have a generator that we run off. We have water tanks, but even that, right now we're having a major issue, and we are kind of stranded right now. The RV is stuck. We are stranded right now while we are trying to travel south. Okay, so even that, there's issues with that. We're trying to get it fixed. We're probably going to be stranded for a few weeks. All right, so you always have to be prepared. always have to be prepared. Something could always go wrong, and we just have to be ready for it. All right. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.